The start of an adventure.
A gathering of friends.
And a future unknown.
All that and more.
Cody, what do you think?
That's a bad kitty.
Welcome to episode 12 of the Super Media Brothers podcast. I'm Midnight Agent Raw.
And I'm Okami, and that was a bad kitty.
It was a bad kitty.
His name was Loki.
That's right.
And he was our mascot for our episode tonight.
Yes, sir. MonsterCATASTROPHE.
Number 3.
Yeah, number 3.
Since all of you know, we like Monster Cat.
We do like Monster Cat. A lot.
And this is actually a pretty special episode because they basically released 030 finale the other day. And it's basically the conclusion to the Monster Cat story itself.
Which a lot of people didn't realize there was a story going on until later on in the series.
Pretty much until like 025, they didn't really know what was going on until the introduction of the other cat.
Other kitty.
Mm-hmm.
Beginnings, good sir.
So we basically start with launch.
Yes.
Oh, it was like 001 launch.
Yeah, and that was only 7 tracks long.
Mm-hmm.
And
but it was the artwork was the rocket ship, like the cat in the rocket ship or the spaceship coming down to Earth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was.
I'm trying to remember all the artwork.
Well, that's the explosion. Like, there's like he's flying in a ship, and there's like it looks like fire and brimstone happening behind him. The artists on this one were some of Monster Cat's original people, such as Arion, Faint, Ifixa, Going Quantum, Stephen Walking,
so forth and so forth.
Yeah, and it was just when in Monster Cat's very beginning, like literally the year they launched, which was launch week, of course. So, and then early stage, which continues the story that we didn't know about yet, which is it's the cat. He's it looks like there are it's like a green background, more like a ship. It looks like he's on a rock.
Yeah.
It's his ship that's being destroyed, and it looks like radioactive flames.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where Muzzy, Stephen Walking, Ifixa, and Varian emerge the forest because they hear the spaceship crashing. Spaceship! And I thought that was really cool because you find out later that the artists themselves are also part of the story.
Mm-hmm. And they have their own personas that are actually drawn out into, the cartoon world. Because, you have, like, Stephen Walking has, like, the pirate eye with the beard and everything. What is it? Varian has, like, a vampiric, like, dark character-looking creature.
Yeah, and those are two of my favorite people that have come into this.
Mm-hmm. Literally jizzed. In this.
Yes, like, legit jizzed, if you will.
And then Momentum came after that, 003.
That's right. And
which this one, he's just basically surrounding himself with friends at a campfire. Basically, he's on Earth at this point. He's meeting new people, telling his tale of, what he's there for, what happened, and they're telling their stories to the Monster Cat about what they're all about. And, obviously the artists in this album come out and produce their music and so forth and so forth.
Yeah, it's him introducing himself to the label's first artist. It's funny though, like the story claims that the artists are not shocked by the intelligent cat because they know Ifixa is similar as far as his brains.
Mm-hmm.
So, Identity was number 4,
which is basically reflecting in a pool of goo or some kind of water.
Yeah, it's
moonlit water.
Yeah, he's thinking about how he lets anybody else know about his arrival.
Mm-hmm.
Being an alien is not exactly normal.
It's not easy either.
No, it's not easy being green goo.
Or Black Kitty.
And in this part of the story, Tristram and Resonate are talking about how they'll pass Monster Cat as normal to everybody else they know to popularize him.
Mm-hmm.
And
revealing the identity.
That's right, which brings us to evolution.
Which, I mean, this can go with more along the lines of, like, the evolution of the EDM genre or just music in general.
Absolutely.
Or just the evolution of a artist in general becoming a better musician, a better producer as a whole. So, basically, I guess the Monster Cat is showing that, you know, you can basically become something different and actually be better with who you are and what you learn.
Yeah, and I mean, it's him exploring new opportunities as well, you know, as he's evolving.
Mm-hmm.
This leads us to Embrace, which is him patrolling the streets of Canada, which, if you haven't heard by now, Monster Cat is a Canadian label.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's exploring Canada with Rogue and his other friends, and Monster Cat enjoys how Earth looks, and he thinks about how coming to this planet was a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, embracing.
Yep. Huh.
Which, I like the artwork for this one a lot, too.
It's one of my favorites.
It's got that, you know, that city feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a cartoon version of, like a vapor. It looks like semi.
Like a 70s, yeah.
A little bit.
It's like half blue and half red with the like siren lights and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Then this leads us
to 007 Solace.
Yeah. And this is where Monster Cat and his friends are hosting a concert.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the cover art of this one is him looking down on a crowd.
Yep.
You know, and it's really neat because, as we know, Solace was released like almost a year later. I think almost exactly a year later. And it was proof because the label took off like really well.
Definitely.
And thanks in zero small part, you know, to like the roster that they built by.
Oh yeah.
And becoming a literal monster of their own as a record label. And then that leads, of course, to...
And I was about to question that little anniversary thing because 008 is anniversary. So I'm wondering...
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because I'm wondering by this point, this is basically a year-ish after the fact that Monster Cat became a thing.
Yes.
And now they're basically celebrating the, you know, the birthday, quote-unquote, of the cat. Because, I mean, at this point in the story, they don't know how old Monster Cat is, but in reality, we know that the label is actually a year old, roughly.
Yeah. And, you know, this one has some more of the artists that are a little more, I guess, associated with the label. Like, we had Televisor, we had Pegboard Nerds, we have Tut Tut Child, Drop Tech, Rogue, Stephen Walking, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of these artists are still to this day very much associated with this label.
Mm-hmm.
Even if some of the artists aren't on the label anymore, I will always think about this label when I hear these artists.
Oh, yeah.
Which, again, is further proof that, you know, an artist and a label need to cohesively work together.
Definitely.
The artwork for Anniversary is really cool, too, because it's like, as Solace, he's looking down at the crowd, and then in an Anniversary, he's in the crowd himself.
Yep, right in front of the stage and enjoying the show.
And he's just like looking at the camera like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Selfie.
Meowfie.
Cowfie.
And then we go to Reunion.
This goofy looking freaking Thanksgiving edition.
I know, right? And
with Muzzy and
Rogue.
Afixa and Rogue.
And Tristram.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look just to the right, you can see, what is it, Pedirep? Pointing next to his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny.
But yeah, basically this is just by bringing back some of the artists that kind of like left for a while and came back, and they're reuniting in a way to, you know, bring back Monster Cat even further than it already has been so far. So
absolutely. And this leads to Conquest, of course, which it's really cool because at this point Monster Cat has become its own force in the music industry. Hence
it's taking
the name.
over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the Commander Monster Cat. It looks like he's putting down where each of his musician friends are gonna go, like towards,
and touring the world and stuff.
and that's Muzzy and Eminence and Resonate and a lot of other artists on there. And this release had a lot of really good ones on it too.
Mm-hmm.
This had again Tut Tut Child, Eminence, Run Funk, which of course later on had become Pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean we'll get to that later, obviously, but. I mean, this had also Stephen Walking Rogue, of course. It had a lot of your
The Rogue Gallery.
Yes, and then a lot of newer artists. And I like that this one seemed to be a good mix of different genres instead of just like strictly dubstep and things like
Electronic and electro, yeah.
This had glitch hop, new disco, drum and bass, progressive house, trap, which Monster Cat has some of the cooler sounding trap artists out there.
Actually, the better sounding trap. Like, it's not just cool, but it's just actually more well refined.
That's what I'm saying. It's further proof once more that this conquest
is about to happen.
Yeah, because fuck yeah. And then there's go ahead.
We got 011 Revolution, which is basically the start of the takeover. You have the Monster Cat basically causing a riot, having the riot police in front of him about to take everybody down, and then you see like all the fans and artists behind him about to back up the Monster Cat and everything.
I like how he's got like kind of that smoke bomb to keep his identity out.
And then he has the bandana over his mouth, which basically is the same shape of his mouth.
Yes. And then it's hilarious because then the next release,
Aftermath.
Yeah, he just like on this cop car with, it looks like a baton. And then there's people around him. It's the aftermath of the war, obviously, and
obviously they won.
Oh yeah, he smashes the cop car winch.
Pow! That bass drops. Pow!
And it symbolizes that when working together, that family prevails all. Which of course leads to 013
Awakening.
Yes. He recruits the police to to host a music festival, and it's you can see the O12 art above the tent, and it looks like he's just kind of thinking back, on, he's almost reminiscing, of course.
Yeah,
is what it seems like he's doing.
But see, the transition between this one and the next one, I'm starting to wonder if he's starting to kind of have that. He needs more. He needs that kind of discovery.
Absolutely.
So we lead to 014 Discovery.
Yes.
He's kind of on a path to not really discover more about himself, but to find what else is out there in the world, because he's obviously found some really great friends at this point. So now he's basically trying to see what else is out there in the world to offer.
Absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, this is not, I wouldn't say like the actual debut, but it's one of the first to feature Mr. Fiji Ouija.
And I think this one had 7 Minutes Dead too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Delayed Friend Request was on this
one.
one.
And I like that song.
Yeah, it's really good. Then of course you have Haywire. Which,
oh yes,
Haywire is amazing.
Baywire.
Right. Raziel. You had Televisor again, which that was old school. That's my favorite Televisor. One of my favorite Televisor songs. Tut Tut Child, Stereotronic 2, feature Holly Drummond. She's been on a lot of tracks.
She's a good vocalist though.
I like it though. Pixel was on here as well. Fractal again, which Fractal's kind of. It seems like it's like hit or miss.
Yeah, they haven't really been accepting his stuff lately.
Really?
Yeah, like I think he got pushed out of Monster Cat because a lot of his stuff kind of started sounding the same. Didn't really have much of that diversity that everybody else is doing. Well. So he's been releasing on other labels or on his own.
Yeah. And this all leads to Outlook, and we can see where Discovery and Outlook are kind of one and the same. It's almost like you were mentioning. It's like he kind of goes looking for more. He looks like he's discovered a little more and discovered himself, and he's looking even further out
there.
Yeah, I love the artwork to this. It's gorgeous.
The Aurora Borealis in the sky, and he's looking through a telescope to enjoy and be amazed by it all.
with his headphones.
They never leaves his head. Never leaves his head.
He never leaves home without it.
Mm.
But maybe he's searching for his home planet. Also, if you think about it that way, because I mean, he
doesn't know how far away he is from it either.
No, he doesn't. And again, like the artwork from Outlook onto Expedition, I hate to say, not hate to say it, like we're from Louisiana. There are Mardi Gras colors in this shit. So that right there, I was like, Then, reading about it being, he discovers this cave, revealing a lot of different colored jewels, and he keeps, searching on through the cave.
Basically, he goes underground.
Yeah, which
EDM.
Yeah, and he finds something unusual, which it leads us to Ascension.
Mm-hmm. It's a light, and there's a lake.
Yep.
Body of water that has been undiscovered.
Sunken ship full of treasure.
Which that leads us to Frontier.
Yeah, and I mean, with Ascension going into Frontier, it's like he unearthed several artist logos, and this is like Grant Bowtie and Rob Gasser are in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Frontier.
Yeah.
Was the ship, which I like that artwork too. It's very Little Mermaid looking.
Yeah.
Like in a way,
very golden glow, like a sea of piss. That ship got pissed off.
I love that you not that you ruined it. It's just like, it looks like Little Mermaid, like a sea of piss.
Yeah, I mean it's all golden, so I mean it's golden showers. Golden diver,
golden diver.
So to get out of that golden piss sea,
you can see the ship and it's filled with pee.
Oh, it's all over me. Yeah, get off.
Oh shit.
So he wants to get out of the piss sea to go into 019, which is Endeavor.
He was feeling pissy about it.
I mean, he's a cat. He is pissy.
That's right. Maybe he pissed all over in Marcus territory. Maybe that's why there's so much.
All over that ship. He shipped that.
That piece of the ship. Endeavor. Oh God.
So basically, he's rock climbing out of the water piss, ocean
to do something that no cat has ever done before.
Climb a mountain.
Right, but I love the art. All the artwork is really good. I like this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's that gorgeous, like, blue to purple kind of fade with the white in the middle, and just a very vast area of land.
Yep.
And, looking onto altitude...
I mean, he has to go somewhere. He can't go down.
Yeah. So
he just keeps going straight in the air.
Well, shit. It's like he's hang gliding, dude.
Yeah. He's taking off.
For the first time, a cat flies.
Meow, meow.
And where he's flying is quite obviously unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of references to the other artwork.
Yeah, you'll see like other little spots here and there, like the cities, and let's see what else is in there. I mean, there was in
there's like the telescope.
There's the bridge in what was it?
05?
007. No, 007. Which one was 007? I can't remember which one was.
I thought it was the stage.
No, there was that bridge in Evolution. That's what it was.
And then
in the
there's
river.
the balloons.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the Conquest art.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then you have where he's obviously flying to next.
A little beach party.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like this artwork. I keep saying I like this artwork, but I really do like the artwork, and it's cool because it's really low key looking,
Mm-hmm.
I
just like the use of purple in 021 perspective.
I do too. I like the purple and black. I like the low key beach scene with looking like a straw hut with it's a DJ booth, and it's a small gathering of people. Looks like they're having a barbecue, not a barbecue, like a pit fire.
Yeah,
just kind of hanging around. This was this the debut of Pilot?
I think
this
so.
Was Flashbacks was on here.
Yeah, because 022 led up to what was it?
Well, see, After Dark was on this one as well.
Yeah, it was After Dark, and I think Flashbacks was after that. Yeah,
and they were both on this,
mm-hmm.
which is really cool. Stonebank was on here. Karma Fields. Draper, Raziel, Muzzy.
You start seeing a lot of that diversity in artists too, because at this point, like Karma Fields is like it's like an entity versus being like an actual artist.
Yes.
Because you start getting to like Pilot. Pilot is a story. He's not really an artist per se.
Yeah.
Karma Fields is basically a mindset, a personality. He's a entity. Versus like a lot of the other characters like Rogue and them. That's basically like he's an image and he's an artist as well.
Right.
So you're starting to see that diversity, which kind of leads to O22 Contact, which basically everybody's here.
Yes. And that's the artwork on this is very obviously
Rave.
like, big rave party.
And this is the introduction to San Holo, one of my favorite future-based.
God, San Holo is really great.
Swirl.
Aerocord on here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hellberg, Hyper Potions, which I like Hyper Potions a lot.
Hyper.
Varian again.
Mm-hmm. This one had Buster on there too. Combine. Like this was one of my favorite albums. It had Combine by Buster. It had what was all on it? It had Fool on there. Fool was pretty good.
Right.
With Fairy Taylor, and I think Night was on there.
Yeah.
Stone Makes Pressure was on there, which I love that song.
Yeah, and then also The Entity was on there.
Mm-hmm. And Psycho. I think Psycho was on this one too, by Aerocord.
I am looking. I don't know. I don't see it. Yes.
I was about to say I know because I know this album.
Rich Edwards, Volant.
I love Volant. Minty.
I wish more of that would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, like you have the old school favorites like Raziel on here, and then Pegboard Nerds, of course.
Try this,
right?
On for size, Mister.
And then Protostar on here as well.
Chrysalis.
Yes. And of course, it's a giant party with artists like those on there.
Mm-hmm.
Then we move on.
After Party, just floating down the river of Voyage. 23.
Yeah. And I love it. Like this is the kind of shit I would do if I went outdoors. I want I want an inner tube. I want a cooler full of drinks next to me and friends and music just happening. Very obviously leaving the forest, or at least chilling out in the forest.
Yeah.
We've got.
There's Nitro Fun there on the front.
Yeah, dude.
Playing his Game Boy. Obviously Pegboard. Yeah, obviously Pegboard behind them playing freaking Swamp Thing with the banjo. I love that part.
I can't tell who's in the back.
Fiji Ouija. Nah, I can't tell either. It's too small.
See, this album had.
There might be Hyper Potions back there.
That's what I was thinking, because they're on here. AU5. This one had some really cool collaborations. Raziel and Aerocord did a song. Muzzy and Drop Tech.
Colossus.
Yes, and Stephen Walking and Hyper Potions did Saturday Morning Space Ride.
Which is one of the good song.
I love it so hard. Protostar and Draper did a song called. Is that what you did? Chrysalis?
Yeah.
It's.
Oh, that's right. Because Protostar did. I don't know what 22 had on there, but yeah, I remember now.
And then Subtact and Hyper Potions did one together.
Yeah, that was Adventure.
Mm-hmm. Then we go fourth.
024 Vanguard. With their own jet skis.
Yeah!
Because you know what? Tubing is for losers. We'll just go fast. With freaking Noise Storm and Roe just blaring off, doing whatever they want to do. Freaking Noise Storm just giving that, sexy look. You see that shit? He's like,
He's like, look at me.
Bass drop.
Bass.
And see, I like this album because the very first, the two first songs was AU5's Atlantis and Ballin' by Gravitz. So it's basically, I deem this, it is Aquaman rising from the seas to pimp the streets. That is exactly how I introduced myself to O24.
And then it's hilarious because if you look at it, there's a song called Skyline, and you would think that's where Batman comes in.
Yeah, swoosh.
Oh, this has oh god, one of my favorite inside jokes with you on here with the get on up. The Jaws and Pegboard nerds. Get on up. That's like the ultimate alarm clock.
Ever.
Who else was on here? Summer Was Fun is on here.
Yeah, because how was it? Their first song they put on there.
Well,
Watching.
Is it?
I think it's Watching.
Then we also have Dion Custom on here.
Oh yeah, Roses.
And I remember you specifically introducing me to Dion Custom.
I love Dion Custom's Roses. Like every song he's released so far, I've liked, and I liked his Bliss EP too, which had some unique little sounds.
Yeah, Slips and Slurs had Restless on here, and that was also with Annie Yvette was guest vocalist on here.
That was a really haunting song.
Yeah. Of course, Varian did Valkyrie 3 Atonement,
which I didn't really like that much.
It was okay. Yeah, it wasn't like
It wasn't as impactful as Valkyrie 1.
No, but I mean, every artist on here is gonna have, you know, that maybe that one song that's not as, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not as hidden. Yeah,
but still, there's always something to be found on these albums, which leads us to Threshold.
Now, before we continue any further, there was a point between 24 and 25 where MonsterCat would spam this like hidden message of like this creature coming back from somewhere in the rain, and you don't know who it was. Everybody's flipping their shit, wondering like, is this a fixer? Is this a fixer coming back and crap? Well, now we come to the reality of what the actual story is leading up to of 25 Threshold. So basically, there's another cat that approaches the MonsterCat, and there's a confrontation.
Yep.
And we don't know what's going on. We don't know if the other cat is good. Don't know if it's evil. Whatever. But the album artwork basically shows the MonsterCat like confronting the cat, just having all the banners in the front, the forefront, the middle ground, the background of the symbol of the cat from the other side of the space and shit.
And what it looks like is this cat seems to be rising from underground.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of debris and rubble everywhere, and MonsterCat himself looks not fearful, but just kind of in awe or shock.
Cautious.
Maybe. Yeah. And this album had a lot of really great tracks on it too.
I mean, it had a lot of it had basically introducing more of Karma Fields with Stick Up. It had one of my favorite, actually my only song by Puppet that I like, with Boy and the Beast.
Yes.
Because I mean that song was just like hard and just dark and just
hard.
Yeah. Also, probably my favorite collaboration of all time is Varian and Mr. Fiji Ouija, We Are the Lights.
That is my absolute favorite thing from either of those artists. I don't know how else to describe that track other than nighttime, just
sipping on drinks in a lounge,
chilling the fuck out,
and just that song.
That
just
saxophone intro, man. Yeah. This also introduced Pork Chop Express.
Oh, that's a great.
Yeah, it is. Stephen Walking.
Like, it has a lot of the old sound and a lot of his new sound.
Yes.
But it does it so well that it's just very energetic at the end, where he's like actually keeping up with the train motion and shit. It was really good.
What did you think of the Haywire track on here?
Endlessly?
Yes.
I mean, who doesn't like Haywire at this point? I mean, that song was just... It was enough to keep me wanting more from him. And then later on, he eventually released Two Folds Part 2, which was, like, phenomenal.
Yeah. Then we also have Rootkit on here with Elevate. Case in Point with Paradigm. I mean, I'm just kind of picking, like, to me, some of the standout tracks.
Snavs actually came in with Time on this album, which is really good introduction to trap music.
Now, this one had a very interesting guest vocalist on the Karma Fields and Morton track, Stick Up.
Juliette Lewis.
Yeah. Stick your hand up.
Yeah.
It was different.
It was
for her.
It was unique. But a lot of people were like kind of iffy about it because it was just not really. I kind of see their point, but at the same time, it sounds a lot better than what other artists have been doing. Like, it's a lot of just speaking. It's just them. It's her screaming. It's her just basically just talking the entire time, and they vocal chop her here and there to make her sound like kind of stuttering or darker or deeper, and then they have the hard hitting drops where it's just like intensity, and that's why it's called aggro tech.
Yes,
That's that genre of song that it's called.
This leads us to Resistance.
I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, Resistance is the one where they're fighting.
Yeah, he's like throwing a ninja. You got your
Ninja Kitty.
You got your Judy Chop. You got your Ninja Star. You got your Kitty Kick.
Yeah.
And it's a really neat looking. I like the use of the use of gold because it's also the same gold when the Monster Cat was facing off with the police. How he was using a gold smoke bomb. It's almost like whoosh, I'm about to kick you in the face, bitch. This also had really good tracks on it too. I mean, a lot of these albums have great standout tracks on them, but what I really enjoyed the most on this one was the fact that Talib Kweli was on the Karma Fields track.
And I actually love that song a lot. I mean, it's like that hip hop and rap kind of sound, but I never really cared for it until I hear it done well, and that was actually done really well.
I know several tracks on here that really spoke to the two of us. Synchronize.
Yeah.
Which Hellberg, that's probably my favorite Hellberg track.
It's that and The Girl are my favorites.
For sure. And also A Race Against Time by Pilot was on here.
Very good song.
Edge of the World by Karma Fields was on here.
Mm-hmm.
New Sky and They Just Haven't Seen It by San Holo.
Which was a really good, like, just a duo EP.
And, of course, my favorite track on this album was Fell Down by Tut Tut Child. I love that song.
That whole LP was good, though.
Tut Tuts?
Yeah, Come to the End and Stop.
Mm-hmm.
That was just a great, like, LP in general.
Absolutely. Then we see the return of Stephen Walking with It Came from Planet Earth.
Which I didn't really... Not really a hard-hitting one in my book, because, like, he can do a lot better.
Oh, for sure. And that's what I was getting at, was, like, this was... and I love Stephen Walking, but this was not his best work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in my opinion, it wasn't his best work. Yeah. Then, let me see. We have... which is the, to me, very punnily titled Cataclysm.
Yeah.
This artwork's really freaking awesome.
Trippy as fuck.
Look at all the cats.
Yeah, now you're starting to figure out what's going on. Like, okay, so basically the Monster Cat, I don't know if he, like, sabotaged the ship in launch week and basically, like, it jettisoned from it, and now the cats are coming back to get revenge on him.
That's what I'm thinking. Or maybe... What if he escaped this planet?
Mm-hmm.
And he was the only good cat on this planet? What do you think?
Wait, what was the question?
So maybe he's a part of them, and he's the only good cat.
Well, I mean, he's the one that has the mouth. I mean, all the other ones are visual, which at this point, I'm starting to wonder if this is basically a transition from all vocals and all sounds to, like, actual visual now.
Yes.
Because they're actually doing that more with...
Their
the
videos.
album artwork,
Yeah.
because they're doing more animations with the albums and stuff, and with the mixes, they're actually doing the album artwork for the albums being more like motion based.
Yeah.
So you see the cats taking over and stuff.
Yeah. And I know you didn't really care for Marshmallow, but I actually liked the song Alone that was on this this release, and there were also Muzzy was back.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Fiji Ouija Direct and Aruna did a track on here, Time to Say Goodbye.
That is such a... Oh my god.
It's a great song.
It's a beautiful track.
Sacred Woods.
Mm-hmm. A really good variant track.
The Place I Once Knew by Pilot. Turtletown.
It's a weird little track.
Yeah, I mean, well, we expect anything less from Stephen Walking. Hyper Potions Unbreakable. Pixel, Rootkit, Stonebank again, Pegboard Nerds and Nightmare, the song Superstar with Cruella.
I don't know, like there was a whole transition where Pegboard Nerds just kind of did a lot of like hit or miss tracks, and after Pink Cloud EP, they kind of just, I don't know, they were in and out for me.
I think every artist has that kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have that one good fuck up or a couple of good fuck ups.
They had quite a few.
But I still love them.
Oh, yeah.
My God, I still love them.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get to Uproar, which this artwork seems to have all the artists, or at least it looks like or no, are these all the artists or are these all the cats?
These are all the cats, and there's a few of the artists in the distance. Like, this is where Tokyo Machine, I think, gets introduced.
Yes. Which,
I think you see it.
My God. Tokyo Machine is my absolute newest, like, thing, is my shit.
Yeah.
This was Party.
Mm-hmm.
We also had Conroe with I Want to Know.
Yep.
Wake Up, the House is Underwater. There are a couple of Pegboard Nerd collaborations on here with Snails and MIU.
Mm-hmm. Weaponize is, really good.
Yeah, we had Fool and Ramses B back on it, which I don't think we had seen these guys
A long time.
Yeah, I mean, a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
Then Tokyo Machine also had OK on here. World by Design.
Oh,
That's
best.
another artist, man.
Mm-hmm.
World is, again, one of my favorite things to come off of this label.
Literally.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's that good.
Right? Like, Splooge World. La 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 la. Let's see. Then it leads us to Uproar. I mean, I'm sorry.
We
this
are
was
in Uproar.
Havoc. My bad.
Probably my favorite album out of all of Monster Cat, like, seriously, because this album just hit.
It seems like it had every style that you could think of on here, which appropriately Havoc.
Mm-hmm.
And the artwork is really badass as well.
Like, you have literally the cat taking over the mantle of the earphones of Monster Cat, and he's putting it on his head, and now he's literally just pissed off everybody in Monster Cat community. Yeah. So now you have, like, Jaws, Pegboard, Tokyo Machine.
That's a great fucking song
Yeah.
for this album too, considering the story. Yeah, exactly.
Stephen Walking, Sanholo, and then you see in the background, like, you see a lot of the other artists like Varian, Fiji Ouija, and all them, like, tackling the cats as well.
I really think the Pegboard Nord's badass motherfucker.
Yeah, Bamf.
Yeah,
Bam, motherfucker.
I love it. And of course, you're thinking like this. I mean, and I'm reading off the song titles, like, of course, like Fight, Bamf, Panic, Sweat, and then all these. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Aerocord had a song called "The '90s" on here.
Yeah.
And again, I liked this track. Fiji Ouija Direct and Holly Drummond with "Trust in Me."
Yeah.
I really liked that one.
Those three, well, primarily Direct and Fiji Ouija do really good collaborations in general because they just do really good with chill in general.
Mm-hmm. Aerocord and Fractal did a collab, which I thought was a very odd collaboration.
Yeah, that was what was that song called?
Until the End?
Yeah. It was with Kayla. I remember
Yeah.
that. Mm-hmm.
Who else was on here? I mean, Kuro.
Yeah, with Amon.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite trap tunes.
I know, right? And I like the fact that as these albums progressed, like, trap became more of a thing that they.
This one was heavy on trap too because they had Going Quantum and Rare. I mean, Psyche Type with Rare.
God, that was a fucking great track because we hadn't heard anything from Going Quantum since like the dead
very
beginning.
Exactly. And then Dirty Audio with Gorilla Glue.
Yes.
Freaking Harambe memes everywhere.
And all this leads to the album that we're really gonna we're gonna dive into a little bit heavier. Was Finale, and obviously this was meant to be the end of the story.
Mm-hmm.
But is it really the end of the story?
We don't know.
This has 30 tracks, and there are some old favorites. A very brand new artist that I am shitting bricks over.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take it from the top, dude.
Well, we'll start with one of the tracks, Gareth Emery and Standerwick, Saving Light. It's a trance tune. Probably my top song on this whole album because I love trance.
I do too. trance was actually what got me into electronic dance music.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that, like, back in the 90s when Tiesto was, like, becoming a huge success.
Mm-hmm.
And that's considered, like, at the time was that foreign kind of thing. I mean, because Tiesto's from Spain, so you had, like, that influence in it as well. But the trance that's happening now on this label has just been amazing as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Then leading into Resistance by Aerochord.
Mm. Now, I know you kind of didn't really feel much about this song, which I can kind of understand. It's not his best work, and it has a weird drop with the vocal chopping, but it does fit the feel of, like, Resisting, like, just that kind of, like, rebellion and anarchy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get at. I didn't completely dislike it. I think, for me, it was just different than what he has done before.
Mm-hmm.
But the energy's there regardless.
Oh, yeah.
And then, holy fuck, A Return to Form.
One of my favorite songs by them, freaking Going Berserk by Pegboard Nerds and Quiet Disorder.
Which...
Just, the intro gets you pumped up enough to where it's just like, you can't just help but just jump to this song.
Right?
I really want to see them perform. They're probably going to perform this whole fucking LP or EP at a show we're going to.
Yeah, and while we're on the subject, we're going to see the Revenge of the Nerds tour that the Pegboard Nerds are putting on in Houston.
In May.
Yep, and we're definitely going to do a concert review podcast episode for that. So, yeah,
you better get your asses ready for that
Be
one.
on the lookout.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to nerd out.
All right, and then we move on to probably, yet again, one of your favorite artists, Pixel by Tokyo Machine.
Yes, sir! And it's weird. Tokyo Machine has yet to put something out I don't like altogether. And just the artwork in general that this artist puts out with the tunes.
Yeah.
It's got its own
like personality and flair. Mm-hmm.
And we've speculated on who Tokyo Machine could be.
It's quite a few people.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel like he's like Nitro Fun, but in a different like personality.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Or Raziel even.
Yeah, coming back.
Yeah. Then we go to Unlike Pluto.
Someone New.
With Desi Valentine.
Mm-hmm. It's a very sexy little track too.
It is. I enjoyed that one a lot.
I mean, not his best. I mean, I'm still like Waiting for You. It's probably my favorite song, but it's not a horrible track.
Right. An Evo with Feel Something. Did you feel anything?
Kind of.
Okay.
It's more of like a twitch. But like Electric Heart, when Electric Heart came out, and then after that, it was just kind of slowly kind of mediocre to me with him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm hoping that it kind of improves over, the next couple of releases.
Of course.
And then one of my favorite artists, Savage by Kuro.
Yes.
Just that hard-hitting, like techno, electro, like retro feel to it. Just like fast-paced.
That's something I've been waiting to hear too. Just like it's modern yet it throws back in such a great way, in all the right ways.
It's like that underground 90s like techno scene kind of feel.
And that's my favorite kind of... That was actually my favorite era in electronic, was the 90s. Just, it was diverse.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting a lot of that today, which is a good thing. And Stonebank.
Dropping low, dropping...
Stonebank is really good too.
He surprised me with this track. Like, it's one of my favorite tunes by him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my favorite tune of him on this whole album, to be honest with you.
Right.
Feel Like This by Darren Styles and Gamer.
Yeah.
Or Gamer.
Gamer.
Not a big fan of this one.
I wasn't either. In fact, I don't know. I don't mean to sound like a dick, but this album could have probably done without this one.
Just didn't feel like it.
No, it didn't. It didn't feel like it fit with the rest of everything going on.
Mm-mm.
Because I mean, especially when you go from a tune like that to this fucking song.
Freaking artist we have not heard since like the beginning of time, Nanobi. with Chipland.
which was very obviously a chiptune song.
Yeah, I mean, like a very fast-paced chiptune.
And fuck yeah.
Really good song.
Which that's a genre I've really enjoyed discovering because of you.
Yeah.
What if they did something called chip hop?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Where it's like chiptune trip hop.
Or chiptune glitch hop.
Yeah, exactly. Oh.
Then probably my favorite future-based song on this whole album, Constellations by Grant.
With Jesse Mason.
Now, this is actually Grant Bowtie's somewhat alter ego. I mean, he basically took out Bowtie and became Grant. But this song, I had to hear multiple times to, like, truly appreciate it because it's just so, like, high energy and just weird and, like, trippy and shit. And it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, and again, it was almost like reinvention for this person.
Mm-hmm.
And I always like to see that because it seems like when artists do that, more often than not, they kind of fail at it.
Yeah.
And I always root for the ones that actually, do a little better with that. And this is a prime example.
Yeah.
And then we have Puppet and Pierce Fulton.
Just you.
Just you.
I mean, you like this one a lot, I noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Very mellow, very just, like, calm sound, kind of upbeat here and there, but it has this very, like, atmospheric vocals to it.
That's what drew me in.
Yeah.
Was the breathy kind of, ambience. And
I wanna be with you.
And
one we tripped balls over.
yeah, I remember tagging you specifically in this because I heard it. I actually just scrolled up on my timeline feed, and it was released. The little timer thing was like 2 minutes ago, and I was listening to like the little preview of it, and I was like, "Holy fucking shit!" And I immediately tagged you in it.
Robotaki with Automaton.
Oh.
Just a really good, like, techno, like, revivance, basically.
Yeah, and in such a great way because it has like that. It's almost like steam, like, you know what I mean, like machinery happening.
Yeah.
It's such a refreshing take on the techno genre.
Especially with that very middle part when it's like you hear the, like, screeching of the vocals in the background, then you hear that windows bleep, and then the bass drops. Just, oh.
In such a dirty fashion. Ugh.
Speaking of dirty.
Dirty audio and Max Styler.
Roller coaster.
Fuck.
That second drop is so fucking awesome. I love it. Just dirty audio just going heavy in that shit.
Going heavy in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
Hard in the paint. Dion Timmer.
Lost. Very different trap sound.
Absolutely.
Like, you don't expect this kind of... I thought it was dubstep mostly for a while. Then you get this weird, like, just kind of high-pitched, like, trap. And it's really good, though. I mean, I like it.
We have No Taker with Shimmer.
Which I've never heard a song by him I don't like. Like, every track he's released so far on MonsterCat I've enjoyed the fuck out of.
Another one of those artists.
Yeah, he's just that good.
Losing You by Afixa and Laura Brim.
A fucking beautiful song.
Absolutely.
Just a haunting, like, background vibe to it, and then you hear Laura just come in with just, like, her beautiful fucking vocals, and it's just, oh.
And a great return for Afixa, might I add.
Now, Matches was a good song. I like that song, but this one was a lot better.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this was, like, obviously the A game happening.
Mm-hmm. Then we have another one of my favorite songs, Slips and Slurs with Haunted.
Yeah.
Just that 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, let's get it, pow, and just drops like a fucking beast.
And then that song, just, I loved it. Just, fuck yes. That's all I have to say about it is fuck yes. And then we come to World.
With Everything.
Featuring Ashdown. Again.
He did a good job with this, I will say that. Now, he does good with D&B, but it's not his best D&B track.
Oh, you hush.
By design, I will hush for this next one. With Pillworm.
Right.
Now, I never liked Hush. I really never liked Hush.
Just hush.
But I won't now. Because I like this track. It's a really just trippy little future-based song. It's... I don't know, like, the word to say. Like, it's just good.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you hear and you're like, oh, that's great. And then you look who it is and you're like, fuck me, I have to like this now.
I started tumbling down
Right. Yeah.
into this next track.
That's right. Tumbling Down by Soup Andreas and in Inverness.
Inverness. Okay, so I didn't really care for Over You, but then I heard this song and I was like, okay, well, it's a nice little pick me up. It's pretty good, good quality, good production and everything.
So
Decent.
Yeah. So
Mediocre.
you were good to go on that one.
Rootkit. That bitch.
With Tyler Maurer.
Very deep vocals, very deep house sound with that really like staticky, metally like drop.
Yeah.
That wow wow kind of sound.
It was very fun sounding.
Oh yeah. A lot better than his few other tracks in the past.
I know, right? And again, Rootkit is a staple of Monster Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Very fun track. In fact,
He's very dear to my heart.
exactly,
My dear.
my dear. Summer was fun.
Not my favorite track.
No, I would agree full-heartedly on that.
I mean, Summer Was Fun did a lot better in the past, and it's kind of showing. Like, it's just... I don't know. I didn't really feel much on this one.
I didn't either. I mean, and it's sad to say, but that's kind of all I've got for it.
But I'm ready to go with this next one.
That's right. Aruna and Ramses B.
That was actually one of the first songs they introduced on this album, and I mean, I like Ramses B, and Aruna is really good too vocally. It's just, it's a decent track. I can appreciate it, but it's not up there with the rest.
Yeah.
It's a pretty decent little D&B track. I mean, that's all I can really give for this one.
Yeah. And my God, this track.
Soup Andreas just blew me away with Glitch Hop on this one because they needed Glitch Hop to come back.
And Melatonin was a great track for this.
Just numb to all of that. Just a weird like digital sounds in the background, the weird bass sounds kicking here and there. Just it's very melodic, very just just engaging when it comes to like just tripping out on something, you know?
Right. And then going from that to very, very high energy.
You can't get any more high energy than this song.
No, we did an entire. It's so high energy, in fact, that we dedicated we dedicated a whole episode of our podcast to this particular album by this artist, Pilot, and the title track,
Shadow Task.
Yeah, fucking excellent.
That 70s synth wave, just rocking guitar, just
everything about this.
Mm-hmm. And yeah,
and by far one of the standout tracks on this entire album.
Mm-hmm. A very comeback for Pilot, at least.
Absolutely, and it's not because I'm biased to that artist, but it's good.
Yep.
And then we move forward to a solo Ramses B performance,
which is actually the better track of the two because Virtuality is just it's a lot to his older style, a lot of the older D&B he's done. And it's just, it got a little bit of tweaking here and there to actually make it just something new, something refreshing. And I actually enjoyed this one so much.
It was very good. I liked it a lot. Then we move into Protostar.
Speaking of the past.
Yeah, echoes of the past.
A very just distorted, engaging song. I actually enjoyed this one. And again, another Glitch Hop track. And it was one of the first ones in the album they released. And Protostar is kind of like jumping in here and there, so he actually does pretty good work when he does jump in.
Right. Jump around.
Speaking of jumping around, we need to be hyped for this next one.
Oh my fuck! Yes!
Hyper!
That, God, I remember when... God! Again, just the fucking consistent 1-2 punch of Tokyo Machine.
And I love the introduction on his Facebook when it was like, hype. Robo-chan, they know our title of our next song. Release it now. Okay. Hype.
Yeah. I can't say enough good things about Tokyo Machine.
No, we can't.
Esh.
He's just that fucking awesome.
Right. And, of course, we close this album out with Stonebank.
My least favorite track.
Well... Please explain why it's your least favorite track.
That fucking flute is just... It's like hearing the penny whistle solo from My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. But in EDM form.
Celine Dion custom?
Yeah. No.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
not sorry about that.
But yeah, like Stonebank really didn't do this genre justice at all. Like the house genre, he does it better with the trance when it comes to Lift You Up, and that's probably my favorite track by him all time. But I can't get past that flute. It destroys my brain every time I hear it.
It's like, what if it were Kenny G instead of the flute?
I will approve that. Back to start with
Right.
Kenny G. Wah, wah, wah.
I don't know. And I mean that's the closing track to this, and Back to Start. So it kind of makes you think, like the song title maybe.
It's like, where are they going to go from here? Are they going to go back to their original roots to be more, not original with that, but just kind of like, okay, well, we had the good sound back then. Let's try and see if we can pick apart from here and there and use it now.
Right?
Or they're just actually starting a whole new like image. So they're kind of starting over.
It's they could go anywhere. And right now, MonsterCat has their current roster kind of has everything that we've talked about so far. There's a little bit of the past, a lot of the newer stuff, and a lot of the in-between people.
Yep.
You have Aerocord, Anivo, Conroe, Darren Styles, Dion Timber, Dirty Audio, Affixa, Gammer, Gareth Emery, Grant, Kuro, Nanobi, Nervo, Noise Storm, No Taker. The Pegboard Nerds are...
Obviously there.
Yeah, Pilot, obviously. Ramses B, Robotaki, Rootkit, Slips and Slurs, Snails, Soup Andreas, Stonebank, Summer Was Fun, Tokyo Machine, and World.
Mm-hmm.
This is as of now, 2017, their current roster of artists. And it's a lot of great artists with a lot of different styles. So I'm hoping the direction they go in is diversity. You know what I mean? Like, more of their albums have just different stuff and not sticking to like one thing in particular.
Well, I mean, they're bringing out genres like trance and techno now, so hopefully we're going to get more of the in between the main genres now, instead of just having electro and electronic and dubstep.
Absolutely. I'm very much looking forward to all the future releases now.
Same here.
And hopefully we'll have another 30 albums to talk about in the future.
Let's hope so.
I know, right? I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of all this stuff right here because, I mean, my God. There's just clickety clack. Don't talk back. Bye-bye laptop. Now, we've been missing Mike Tyson for a while.
You have.
I think we may have finally beat him into submission.
We have.
I mean, that's all I got for like this week. But if Mike Tyson should come back, we need to release the beast on him.
The kitty.
And so can you say goodbye to everybody out there? What do you mean you don't want to? Oh, well, that was really.
That was a squeak.
That was a squeak. Can you do it one more time? Okay, that's better. All right.
That's a good kitty.
That's a good kitty. We like you. I know. Peace out, homie. Bye. Okay. Get our cat to cue the music and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So, we hope you've enjoyed this catastrophe known as Monster Cat. We shall return with episode 13 next week. Until then, I've been Midnight Agent Raw.
And I've been Okami.
Shades on!
We're off.